So, week 6, we're talking about windows and doors. How to read the information in windows and doors. How do we do the right selection? How do we do some calculation? What are the differences between doors, different types of doors and windows? And what is the big deal? How much does it cost usually to replace one window? It's a lot of money. Between $500 to $1,000 for one window. So it's a big investment, and if it's a lot of the cost is installation and also the cost of the window itself. So for HVAC designers and cooling and heating engineers, windows and doors are our enemy because we're fighting a battle with windows and doors because nobody wants to stay in a house with no windows and eventually need a door. Door is not a problem because usually it's a piece of the wall that moves. Windows are an issue because we have to deal with glass and we have to deal with all sort of heat loss. So it's essential to have windows. What is this whistling noise? So windows characteristics, window structure. What do we mean by structure? It's the siding, the opening, the frame, the dash, selecting new windows. How do they get tested? How much air do they leak? Most windows leak air because they are moving, right? There are some space, even though it's very small, it's always going to be leaking. There's no completely airtight windows. Actually, there are some, but that you can kind of close tightly. But again, it's leak-proof to a certain wind speed. You could, but it depends on the pressure. At the right pressure, it will still leak. Window treatment. How do we do treatment for windows to make them better? Some economical options that we can do for windows to make them more effective. Did you notice in your car, if you have a small hole in your molding and you're going 75 miles per hour, this hole is going to be noisy, very noisy, and that's the effect of wind on your windows. Most car windows are treated for UV protection, and they are, what kind of glass are they? Tempered glass.
Oh, yeah.
It's very hard to break. Have you ever tried to break a car window? It's really difficult. I tried to break a car window because I forgot the key inside. I was.
You saw a little piece that
Yeah. You want something really sharp. That was. Tempered glass is very hard. However, we talked about something called ductility when we talked about metal. Some material are more ductile than others. Ductility is the characteristic of the material has to do with brittleness. It's really brittle, means like it's very hard, however, it will shatter. That's why your car window will shatter, will not break, most likely. So it will shatter. So window treatment, what kind of treatment do we have? At some point, if you go in the 90s, some cars will have double glass in the windows, which was very absurd. Anybody see the S-Class or the BMW 7 Series at the 90s? They have half an inch glass with two panes, which is very ridiculous.
And there's gas between the.
Yeah, for insulation and also for UV protection. But the new ones have new technologies. Doors, we'll talk about doors. Again, doors are less problematic because they are solid. Are we done?
It was a crazy story if you want to know about it.
You can do it outside. I don't mind.
I'm not the only one talking, bro.
I see you.
I see everyone else too.
Anyways, so doors are problematic. They move and they're part of the wall, and it's usually filled with a lot of insulation. If you look at your car door, if you ever take your car door apart, it has film. There is some insulation inside, so it's less of a problem than the window because it doesn't have a lot of molding outside. I mean, it seals completely. Windows. What are the two major heat loss in a house again?
Windows
Thank you. Infiltration and transmission. And why do we need to do both? Because we cannot do heat loss on one thing and ignore the other. Windows play a negative factor in both. Windows leak air, and they also transmit immensely. Guys, can you keep it down, please? Can you focus? So windows have air leakage from the inside outside. We said that because of the sash and the connection between the pane, the window pane, and the frames. Also, the connection between, the fitting between the wall and the window also leaks a lot of air. So we have a lot of infiltration going from the windows. That's why when we did the infiltration heat loss, remember when we had to go find the factor? What does it say? How many walls and doors, walls that have windows and doors in it? Each wall that has a window or door in it will have some infiltration going by. So that's the infiltration factor. Transmission is also an issue because, again, windows made out of ceramic are kind of semiconductors, so you'll conduct a lot through the window pane itself. Also, you cannot have a window completely made out of glass. You're always going to need some kind of support. That support is made out of wood, vinyl, sometimes aluminum. Aluminum are really easy and lightweight to put in a window pane. The weight has something to do with the window because you don't want the window to be very heavy. The window is supposed to move. So that's another thing where you will lose a lot of heat through transmission, through the window material, and also through the window support. So windows provide three main functions. The main reason for the window is to have a view, right? So that's what everybody pays for. Want a view, window with a view. You go to a hotel, and the room that faces the ocean costs double, or maybe at least $70 more than the window to face the backyard, or the wall. So you want, the view is very important. Where you put the window, up and down, also makes a difference. So you want the view, and people always love large windows. You go to a house, everybody look at the windows. Oh, there's a lot of sunlight coming in, and it does provide a lot of aesthetic to the house. Provide natural light. Why is this important?
Save on electricity.
Yes, you save a lot of electricity because using natural light. They have some kind of skylights that will go all the way from the attic and transfer light all the way to your house. It has some kind of magnifying glass, mirrors, and eventually you have a light like this for free. I think I have a link for those. They're really awesome. And they have good installation value as well. So you can stick it to the attic and go all the way to your living room. So you save a lot of money on natural light. There is nothing like natural light. No matter how good light bulb gets, it's not that effective. Ventilation. We always want to crack a window. If you have a fireplace, you always want to crack the window so the air will come in. And you also, sometimes when you cook, you want to open a window to change the air in the house. We said something in the winter about people who just like sealing everything. About people sealing the house completely for days on end and do not change the air, and suddenly you start to feel like weird and depressed or like, yeah. So you need to change the air in the house at least once a day. Open the windows in the morning to turn off the heat to get good air quality. Also, bacterial growth. If the house is humid and dark, probably it will grow a lot of bacteria. The air quality will deteriorate. What is the other advantage of having sunlight in your house? Natural sunlight. Why?
Sterilizes.
Exactly. UV kills a lot of bacteria and some viruses. So you want some light inside your house. There was a saying like a house that has sunlight in it will never see a doctor. It's like it's a healthy house, has a lot of UV, kills all the germs. That's why a lot of places that are host a lot of people require a lot of windows, a lot of sterilization as well. It's an ongoing battle because again we're trying to get those three things and also try to maintain the heat loss. So at some point we want to have ventilation, but also we want the light to come to the house and maintain those three things that we look for. It costs between $5 to $50 per square foot. And that's a lot. That's for the window by itself, not the installation cost. And there's a lot of regulation that has to do with the installation, especially especially if all windows have asbestos in them or something. Dust is gonna come out when you move it. Doors, they provide an entry and exit, and some of them double as windows as well. So you have a door, and also sometimes you have a glass door, and some doors have glass in them, and they also have a curtain and blinds, so they can double in function.
$5 to $50 per square foot.
Yeah. They have better thermal transmission if they are solid. So a solid door, either solid wood, solid oak, those are more expensive. They're more expensive than I thought. Like I think an oak door is around how much? Do they have an idea?
A thick oak door,
Yeah.
probably $1,000, $1,500.
Last time I checked, it was around about the same thing, $2,000 for a door made out of oak material. Metals are cheaper, but still it gets expensive because you want something very supportive and something very well insulated, especially if it's the outside. There are different kind of doors. They have doors with storm doors. What is storm doors? Something becoming very popular these days.
Outside glass.
Outside glass door. So you have a door and another storm door. And there's something else called the one with the mesh, with the screen.
Oh, the screen, yeah, it's a screen.
Wait, what's the outside door?
The
I
screen.
mean, not outside door, but like the storm door.
Okay.
Like a Florida room?
I'll show you. Here's a picture. It's good to know the name of these things because you gotta call it the way they are. There you go. That is just too big.
Oh, retractable.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So basically a glass door that adds to your, which is very nice because you can open the door and have some light come into it. And it's very thin, and it's easy to break as well.
You can raise and lower the glass parts
Yeah.
too.
So storm door, these kind of doors they're nice looking, they're not very effective, and it's going to be an issue with all the infiltration and transmission. And look at this one for example, like all these pans, after a while the molding will go bad, and it'll be like a mesh and
Say, don't you-
air will go through it.
If those are all single, like little
Single pane,
panels,
yeah.
like
So-
each rectangle is
Yeah.
formed by itself, that means you have more of a chance of
Yep.
leaks and stuff, right?
So that's something you have to consider, and you have to look at the right heat transfer for it. What else? Storm doors.
Oh, that's gonna be expensive.
So this door is very expensive, but you see it has the glass doors and they have the glass siding, and they try to limit the size of the glass because, again, you're gonna lose a lot of heat through it. All right, let's go back. They are more expensive than windows because again, it's supposed to prevent an entry. So you're gonna have some blocks and some good hinges, and it has to be really strong. And the size also does make a difference because imagine the amount of hinges and amount of movement for this big board. It's more than a small window, so it's going to be very sturdy. So they are more expensive. So what is fenestration again? It's a name for windows and doors. So if you come across it, you know what it means.
Or you put that on the space or
Illustration?
something or no?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't like the word anyway, but euphemism. But if you come across it, you know, at some point you should know. We're good? So the window anatomy, glass assembly which is paints. Those are the paints that you buy one by one. And as Connor said, usually they are single glass. So that's not very effective. But if you want the colored glass, if you want the fancy glass, the carved glass, it's going to be single pane. So you're going to have to kind of sacrifice when it comes to colors. Yeah.
For the colored glass, you better, like, I don't say heat resistant, but, cause you know what you're saying, like with
Yeah.
cars, like the darker your
Yeah.
car is, the more heat it attracts.
Yeah.
Will it have the same effect on the window?
In terms of sunlight, yes, you're gonna block some sunlight, but it's still very thin, so you're gonna have a lot of transmission, but not a lot of heat gain. Sash, the frames of the glass, and again, those can be made of a lot of material. It could be either wood, vinyl, or aluminum, and they all have their pros and cons. We'll talk about that as well. The frame surrounding the sash and window part, the rough opening, and the structural framing around the window. Again, that's something you want to pay attention to very well. What kind of rough opening do you have, and how insulated it is. And make sure you have complete caulking around it, because this is another area where you don't pay attention to, and it makes a lot of air. So we have all three modes of heat loss in these windows. We have convection, because the window is hotter than the wall, or sometimes it's colder than the wall or the inside. So there's a lot of variation between the air temperature. So it will cause the air to circulate. So I'm gonna put a window here. So if this area, this is the inside here, I'm trying to heat, it's cold outside. From the inside, this area, this film air in here is cold. So the air will drop down and you have some kind of temperature variation. Whenever you have two fluids with different temperature, there's always going to be some kind of convection. So we have convection, conduction. What do you think the conduction will be? This is my conduction here. Conduction to the wall. Because our window frame usually is made of either aluminum, vinyl, and wood. Vinyl is very good, but we do not like vinyl. Why? Yeah, it gets crispy over time, deteriorate with sunlight. Wood is good, but again, the connection with wood and glass is flimsy, and it has to be redone every few years. Yeah, aluminum is great. The problem with aluminum is what?
Rust.
Huh?
Cost.
Cost is one thing. What else?
What?
What?
Did you say aluminum?
Yeah.
You said rust.
No, cost.
Oh.
The cost is very high, and no, it's not. It's very strong. It's very strong. Well, what else is the problem with the aluminum? Not the aluminum itself, the connection sometimes, the wheels, they don't corrode, but the aluminum is very resilient. So I thought, well, think of something else.
Just tell us.
Then,
Is it like flimsy? I don't know.
no, it's good. What is aluminum made of?
It's expensive.
What's that?
Someone said that. Like I'm saying that you went through all the options.
Think of vinyl, wood, and aluminum.
It's conductive.
Yes.
Oh, I was.
Thank you.
Yes, you did. Just text us that.
Thank you. It's very conductive, so it's going to conduct a lot of heat from the inside out, outside in. So in some involved aluminum panels, they fill them with foam to reduce the conductivity, but it's very good conductor. We used to make wires out of aluminum, so they conduct very well. So if you go with this camera and look around, those frames will look red because they're conducting a lot of heat. So there's a lot of conduction. Radiation. Where does radiation come from? Sun, and that's from the window pane. So sometimes if you put the windows in the right place, you can heat the entire house in the morning just by sun. Sun rays are very hot and they can heat the entire space. I saw like a 1,400 house being heated completely by windows in the morning. If you put the windows in the south and the east, you probably can get the sun to heat the entire first floor. If you heat the first floor, all the heat will rise up and heat the entire house. So probably can keep your house from 6 in the morning till like 3 in the afternoon with the heat is off, just by using the sun to get something. So radiation is one thing. Infiltration, that's the air leaking through the windows. Every time you your bulb gets older, the pane is moving in place, you are leaking air through the window. This is just so we know what we're talking about. What are the parts? Sash, casing, different kind of names that I really don't care much about. But channels here, you want to have some nice felt between those. And again, the idea of having the window to move a lot is an issue. It's always going to be an issue whenever you have moving parts. So you're gonna have some felt, you're gonna have some rubber. You're gonna have to deal with that. And those panels that move up and down, they require a lot of closing. You need something from the top here to prevent the air from going through. You need to have sealing from the channels here. There are other windows that actually opens up in and out.
Self-cleaning windows?
Huh?
Self-cleaning
So
windows?
they call them. So it's like a door. You go into the inside or the outside. The problem is they take a lot of space when you open them, so people do not like that. If you have a window that doesn't move, that's even better. But again, people again wants to use that window to open and close. Rails. So think of this area. That's a lot of surface area. If this made of aluminum, it's going to conduct a lot of heat, and also these.
Yeah, wood.
Yeah. Wood is very good for conductivity, but it has issues with, again, deterioration. It has to be well treated. If you put it at the outside with the water and rain, over time it's going to lose its fire retardant chemical or its reflective surface. It will lose, you might grow things in it, and it's easy to break as well.
That's why a lot of people now put brick freeze on the outside of their house.
What do they put?
Brick freeze.
Yeah.
It's like brick, fake brick. To keep them infiltrating.
So glass property. Let's look at the U factors. We all know what is the U factor, right? And do you notice something here between those two numbers? So single glass is 1.1 and our value is 0.9. What is the relationship between those two numbers? And what does that mean? Thank you very much. Yeah, reciprocals. 1/2 is half. 1/2 is 2. So it's, I guess, did the math for you, make life easier. But you know how to do this now, right? Yes, you know how to do it? All right. What is this? This is sun heat. It will come up. Don't worry about it. Sun heat gain factor. Solar heat gain factor. What does it mean? It means like how much sun radiation are we going to get inside. So we'll go with single glass, standard insulated glass, low emissivity insulated glass, medium, and the most expensive glass, triple glass. Triple glaze, too low insulation, and you can see it has very, very low U factor, and it has very good solar heat gain coefficient.
Did you say solar heat gain factor?
Coefficient.
Coefficient.
What is VT?
Not.
Yeah. Cheddar cheese. No. It's visible transmission, which means how much visible light do we get in. We want the most visible light, and we want the least of the solar heat. What is the solar heat gain? What kind of rays?
Radiation.
Which is UV or infrared?
UV.
Infrared. Infrared has to do with heat. That's why I have infrared lights. UV is the cancer stuff that we don't feel. So some of them have UV protection, but solar heat gain is what you get to change your body. Visible transmission is the visible light that you want to get inside your house. So if you look here, single glass has a lot of visible light coming into it. Triple glaze, not a lot of visible light. And so on. You want something optimum. And mostly, I never seen anybody with triple glass glazed pans, but it is there.
There were big money houses.
Yeah, it's very, very expensive, and depends on where you put it. And if you put, we'll talk also about shades, which is very important. I think the best way to do these kind of windows you have double glass, and also you put mechanical shutter. People do not like mechanical shutters because of the aesthetics, but they are very, very efficient. Which is, you know what they look like? Look like blinds that make a solid wall when they grab the garage door over the windows. They're more common in Florida. Why?
Flood
Huh?
resistance.
Yeah, well, super heat. Well,
On top, hurricanes, nuclear.
what's a hurricane?
I did.
Yeah, so the hurricane. You cannot get your house insured. It's required for your house insurance to have shutters. Even though they're expensive, they will not insure your house without those shutters because sometimes the wind and hurricanes can shatter the windows.
All rafters have to have
Yeah.
hurricane tips, all that.
Yep. So, testing and rating organizations. So not any Joe Blow can come and tell you this window is good, you made this window. There are some manufacturers that make windows because they charge a lot of money and they have to give you ratings and standards. So the National Fenestration Rating Council, NFRC, I am sure if you ever shop for a window, you've seen this acronym. Is this an acronym or abbreviation? Nice abbreviation. What is the difference between an acronym and abbreviation? Huh?
Abbreviation is like a shorter version of the word.
Yeah. Acronym.
Cut off by periods. Acronym, just like the first letter.
So the difference between acronym and abbreviation is acronym you can pronounce it as a word. Like for example, this cannot be pronounced as a word. Like ASME is an acronym.
According
You
to
can say
English
ASME.
Stack Exchange, an acronym is simply a word formed by taking
was
letters
saying
of
that.
each word and phrase to form an
Did you write
abbreviation.
Does it sound like me?
Yeah. Yeah, this is true.
Okay. They do the U factor calculation, which we saw previously. Just give me 2 minutes. Please. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. So U factors are done by NFRC, the American Society of Heating, Refrigeration, and Air Conditioning Engineers, ASHRAE. That's an acronym. They do theoretical framework for calculation of heat flows through the window. So we have different organizations that set the standards because again, somebody has to do the testing, and they will tell you these windows have been tested at this temperature and this kind of window. And we have Lawrence Berkeley laboratories, and they do simulation and development for new windows. So how do they do all those calculations? They actually make a window and they test them over time, and they give you those numbers. American Society for Testing and Materials, ask them. You'll see this a lot. They set up the standards for how do you test the material. I think that's it. So I'll stop now. I'll finish this on Friday or next week.